I'm live. Starting a little bit early, guys. Time we on? Nearly 7:45. A wee bit earlier than anticipated, but for various reasons it seemed a good idea. Hello, everyone. Hello, Cockney Patriot. Dio. Paul H. Luso. Mick B, 1968. 2 years older than me, I guess. I Phil. Yes. Hello, Anna. Oh, he's jumping up. Hello, guys. No white paint. No, no white paint. No, I've actually got little remnants on my hands still. Well, I'm scruffy. I never. I'm like one of them mechanics. They call mechanics oily rags, did they? I'm probably a Terps rag. Hello, everybody. Thank you for jumping on. Let it build up a little bit. Canada. Hello, Diane. Good to hear you from Canada. Ah, Brighton boy. All right. Is that a big Q? Oh, what are you saying there? Hello, Liz. Silver Legion. Nice one. Hi, everybody. Tennessee. Devon. Yes. Glasgow. New York. I'm loving this. Loving it. Spreading all round. Brilliant. I just need my next door neighbour to log on then. I'm buzzing. I've got everywhere. Hello, York. Come on, keep them coming. Where? Grimsby? Manchester. Good old Mank. Pete Marsland. Pete Marsland. Marsland's a very familiar name. Yeah, going global. Jeez. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I might wish he's not gone global after this hour. Let's hope it all ends up positive, as we say. Thank you all for jumping on. Hyde, Southampton, another Mank, Sheffield. Yes, it is a small world with this stream, innit? Because I can connect with you all. Sydney. Yes, Steve Parkinson, Kent, Finland, Nottingham, Gloucester. Jeez. Have you read the Shooter's Manifesto? Yeah, I've had a little read. I've not read all of it because I've not had time. 74 pages, isn't it? So I've only read probably about 8 to 10 pages. Got down to where it was like answering his own questions. This case is very bizarre. It's very bizarre. Yes, I'm in my bedroom. I'm chilling. I've been banished. I can't do the stream from the front room because the family's watching telly, so I've been banished. Wiltshire, yes. Yes. USA. Right, okay. Enough of all the familiarities. Thank you very much for jumping on. It's very nice of you to jump on. I hope you're all doing well, regardless of the negativity that keeps just constantly slapping us in the face. You know? Corrie's on. I know. Got a competition on me and Salford Ed. I was actually born in Salford, believe it or not. There was a hospital in Salford that I was born at. So I am a Salford head by heart. Then we moved to Miles Platting, stayed in Miles Platting, then I've moved further afield, just on the outskirts of Manchester. Don't look back in anger. Well, I'm not an Oasis fan, mate, so I'm not going to say a lot to that. Right, so we know what we're talking about. We know what this stream is going to be about. Thank you for everyone for jumping on. Hope we can talk about this in a sensible, rational way. Where I go, you may agree with what I'm saying, you may not. I'm not trying to say it to dig at anybody. I'm just trying to get my head around this. But I am trying to do it from a central position, always. always. I've got to try and look at it from both sides. Now, you've got to appreciate, everyone's got to appreciate, it's quite easy for me to do this stream as you would as commenters with your conformity bias in place. It'd be quite easy, wouldn't it? But you can't. You can't. The conformity bias I'm trying to adhere to is being right in the middle, seeing it from both sides of the fence. Now, whether people want that, I've seen few comments within the video I uploaded previously today that don't want that. And I've seen people that can see this for what it is on so many different angles. Yes, in fact, Neil, you well done, mate. That's it. That's it. Rational views. Let's just talk about it. You know, we're all feeling very emotionally charged. And it will be on both sides. Let's face it, you know. For this to happen, there's many reasons why it may have happened. It could be just totally organic. It could have been an orchestrated attack. It could be a major distraction, which could feed into the false flag. Now, by saying false flag, it does not mean that the event did not happen. A false flag can be done very many various ways. That's just the way it is. I'll run through all the different. I've got the meaning of the word false flag on its origins and what it's all about, but you can split the false flag theory into different sections. So someone could actually be radicalized on both sides, but they could still be committing the false flag. It could be an actual organic event, but it could still be a false flag because that person unwittingly could be an asset. He might not. He might be totally genuine and on his own, lone soldier and all that stuff. It might not be. It's hard to say with this one, but there are question marks that you've got to look at, really. But as we know from what I can get from at the moment in time, I think it's 49 people in it. I've seen the video. I have watched the video. Yeah, this is where, you know, even though it was a false flag, do I feel it was a real event? Yes, it was a real event. Now, people have been saying in the comments section, oh, well, I didn't see any bullet holes in the walls or anything. Now, I don't know whether anyone, if you really watch that video, you look at how much of a marksman that guy was, okay? When he was shooting that weapon, he was more than proficient with that weapon. The way it was recoiling, he was holding it still. That guy was very proficient. Now, going back to the manifesto, he talks about that he's been training, he's been developing this manifesto for 2 years. So that could be he's just caught on. He could be a gun enthusiast already, and he's just caught on to the militaristic style of arms. Maybe it goes hand in hand when you carry weapons like that. But for me, the way he handled the gun, the way he changed the magazines, the way he was firing the weapon, the way that when the weapon fired, he was keeping it under such control that he was keeping it down because you could see the gun just wanted to come up. And I guess someone who is not proficient, they're not going to know. I don't know. I've never shot a gun before in my life. So I can imagine a gun of that power. As soon as you power it, it's going to give you the kickback, but it's going to keep wanting to shooting up. So I guess part of the training is to keep it steady so you're on target and on point every time. So the way that guy went about that attack was nothing more than, I would call it professional in terms of the way he went in and dealt with it. Callous, horrendous, horrifying, heathenistic. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I watched it from, I think I've seen a clip from 12 minutes, a 12-minute clip. He's got what people are saying Serbian music playing. He's streaming the whole thing. He's got multiple weapons with all kinds of scribblings on the weapons. Apparently these incidents that's happened. all to do with building up a picture of being a white nationalist. Whether that is true, whether he does genuinely feel like that, or he is somehow a patsy, or he was somehow been indoctrinated to go that far but has become an asset and he's not realised, or he is just a lone man that had had enough and decided to spend the next 2 years to get as many weapons as he could, to get as much training as he could, to develop the manifesto and then do the act. It's hard. Same again, I'm going to start it with this. My condolences go out to each and every victim, all the families and all friends and relatives to the people that have been affected by this. Just as I would say it on May the 22nd, which was my birthday, when there was a terrorist attack in my home city that killed 22 people, and it was the most callous, disrespectful attack, cowardly attack against innocent people. Now, to me, there's nothing different between that and that. Never mind what's gone on before, never mind how you feel, that is irrelevant to me. Now, people may disagree. I've seen some comment sections, some comments in the comment section that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Makes me feel a little bit that people are buying into the genocidal angle to such a degree where you're desensitizing against anyone that is non-white. That's how it comes across a little bit. Now, I am not saying everyone who believes in the genocide is a racist. I'm not even saying the word racist. I'm not bringing that out there, but that is the connotation in a sense. Now, I can see why over the years people have had that thought. I can see with the lack of what people may feel as multiculturalism. I can see why through the mass immigration, I can feel why, when people come over, they don't feel, the English people don't feel that people are adhering to the cultures, settling in, all living nice together. I can see that divide is so stark, it is there. But the boot has got to be on the other foot in terms of when the weapons of mass destruction come out, remember? And Tony Blair done what he'd done and deceived the whole world, along with Mr. Bush and Dick Cheney and the rest of the merry men. When the war on terror then come out, up to 1 million Iraqis then died. So, what do you think the Muslim population is going to think of that? They're going to want revenge. They're not going to be, they're not going to be happy. They're going to be pissed. They're going to want to seek out, and they're going to make the target the West. So, two wrongs don't make a right. No matter, I feel radical Islam needs to be slammed out of everyone's ideology, way of thinking. I feel like far left ideology needs to be wiped out of everyone's thinking. I feel far right ideology in terms of white nationalism, in terms of black nationalism, in terms of Muslim nationalism, in terms of Jewish nationalism, should all be abolished. We are all human beings on this planet. Now, that's my stance. I love people, okay? I hate the wrongs. I hate the evil within people, but I love people. When I was growing up, I was getting a lot of grief from many different people over the years, whether they be white, whether they be black, whatever, okay? Now, because of that, I then don't develop a theory that, well, because more than one person of a certain ethnicity has given me shit, that means I'm then going to portray and general sweep the whole demographic, because that is ludicrous to do that. It's totally redundant, doesn't make sense. So I've got to say that. with the chap himself, the manifesto. The manifesto, he admits he's a racist. He talks about the fact that he's seen over the years whilst he's been traveling. He says he's made some money through Bitcoin, and then through that he's got the opportunity to travel the world, literally like a busman's holiday. Whilst doing this busman's holiday, he's been seeing what he regards as a slow Islamification. And that, I guess, there was a couple of events he did mention that was the straw that broke the camel's back. In terms of his ties, he doesn't seem to be in allegiance with anyone. I think certain news outlets have spoke about it, and they've tried to put Trump in there. They've tried to put the Norwegian. There's probably many, but same again. Even me doing this now, I feel I'm buying into it, because I'm buying into the manifesto, I'm buying into the act, which then buys into the whole divide and conquer thing. When in reality, I've got to be critical, and I've got to think, this was an uber professional hit, whether he had the training, whether he didn't. The manifesto is calmly laid out, which is somewhat worrying when someone is so casual and calm in terms of laying it all out. This guy wasn't rash. This guy thought about it slowly. But is this all been presented in one nice, neat package that then can condemn a lot of people from various countries all around the world who have got concerns, whether they be from Brexit, whether they be from an irrational immigration flow, whether they be the social problems that is happening because of the irrational flow. Who knows? Who knows? So I'm just going to slow down for a minute, because I've just kind of shut out the traps there, and I'm going to just look at what you guys are saying, and I'm going to try and respond to that. Oh, you're moving too quick, guys, right. And by the way, thank you to Great Brit for moderating this, and thank you to Great Brit for sending me the various links. It's made this a little bit easier. Yeah, the guy, hello Gail, long time no see. Yeah, it was an evil act. It was an evil act that I've seen people on the comments section that are actually celebrating it. And you can't. I'm against radical Islam. I'm not against Muslims per se. I have not seen sufficient enough evidence to make me feel that every Muslim that lives on this planet needs to be eradicated. That is absolutely stupid, and it's dangerous to think that. And if I think that, and if other people think that, then what's to stop a Muslim thinking that everyone in the West should be eradicated? Now, we know that rhetoric is out there. We know it is. We know. But look at this. I spoke about the video briefly this morning before work. Said I was going to announce a stream. Said to people, people left their comments. There was one person that basically said, I don't see anything bad in it. And people were jumping on it. Now, shoe on the other foot. I've seen it before. Terrorist attacks in Paris, in Germany, Manchester, all over the place. When you look at your Middle Eastern TV companies, Al Jazeera's, your different various outlets, and when you see social media that tends to stem from more Middle Eastern forums, I guess, you tend to see the thumbs up, the smiley faces, or they all deserve it type of mentality. Now, what is different between the comment that you get on my channel saying that it's about time and karma? Now, how can you say it's karma when innocent people have been killed? How is that karma? You know what I mean? So if I walk down the street now, okay, because of what's just happened, yeah, some Muslim guy decides that fuck this, pardon my French, he decides to take it out on the first non-Muslim he sees, regardless of demographic. I happen to be that lucky person. Takes me out clean, beheads me in the street, yeah? Puts a little note at the side. There's your karma, yeah? So at that point, what do you do then? Do you then get the patriots in this country that then go, right, we've now got to take out all the Muslims? Or at some point, do we think to ourselves, this is getting out of hand, this is stupid, more and more people are dying, and the chances are it's innocent people who have fuck all to do with any of this argument? Because there is a chance that the Muslims that were in there have got no call towards extremism against non-Muslims. There's no evidence of that. This guy actually says that. He pretty much says in his manifesto there's no innocence in combat. So the fact of the matter is, the fact that they're in a land that he deems it should be for white people, the fucking open game. I don't get that mentality. I ain't going to celebrate it, and I highly condemn it. Now, if that, for me, puts me in the blue pill Phil category or the ostracization category, you know what? Put me there. If it means you unsub from my channel, unsub. Now, I know that I have got plenty of followers that follow Tommy Robinson, okay, and follow other people that are rational individuals that I can talk to on an intellectual level that ain't gonna touch this guy over stupid shit. At the same time, I know Tommy fans that are the lowest nomination going. Do I blame Tommy Robinson for that? I can't, can I? Because that's their actions. I can only blame him on his actions. So when people talk about Tommy Robinson getting confronted by the press, it's fucking bang out of order. The guy's going through his own shit, but whether you rightly agree with what he's going through or wrongly, fair enough. You know, everyone's got an opinion on that per se, but you can't level this on him. And I'm not going to do that. But there's a worrying stat that's starting to develop now, and a worrying emotion that's starting to support this. So this worrying emotion, I mean, look at it this way. All these comments now. Let me look through some of these comments. Okay. Bearing in mind, it's only the odd one or two. Like I say, I have got fantastic subbers. I know I have. I've got subbers that have totally disagreed with me. Slammed me even, in a nice way. And then come round and gone, you know what, mate? Yeah, you know, we're all trying to do a job. So fair play. You might not agree with the way I want to do it, or you might not agree with the people who I agree with are going to do it, but fair play, you're doing your own thing. So I've got to say that. I'm trying to be as level as I can here, guys. False flag, false flag, false flag. Let me run through some comments. Yeah, one's put here straight away. I've not picked any out. I'm just running. Right. I knew there would be at least one terror attack right before Brexit, so that can play into the distractionary thing. But also, don't forget, with antics that have been going on over the past couple of months, if you're a Brexiter, you're Islamophobe, aren't you? So, boom. You might as well have been holding that weapon when he was walking in the mosques. You know what I mean? This is how silly it's got. This is how psychologically distorted all this is getting now. So you've got to be really careful on what you condone and what you agree with. You know what I mean? And I'm saying it clear now. No, definitely not. I like Muslim people just like I like white people, just like I like black people. I'm a people lover. I totally appreciate there's wrong ones within the white community, there's wrong ones within the black community, and there's fucking wrong ones within the Muslim community. okay? And every other freaking demographic. Let's keep going, you know? So that's not the argument. I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying it as it is on a fair level and being accurate, because I know there's plenty of innocent Muslims now that are feeling shit scared of the rhetoric that's coming out. But at the same time, I know on the other side, I know with all the grooming crisis that people are going to be shit scared of walking around what they see as a grossly Islamified city, where they're feeling outnumbered and they're probably getting a lot of people that are feeling empowered without showing respect. Due respect. Now, I'm not castigating every Muslim. I'm castigating a minority of Muslims within a Muslim community, just like I'm castigating this, which is a small percentage of a community. So I've got to say it right. Right, so here we go. MSN, right, okay. It's very early to be 100% sure, but at the moment my gut feeling is there's something fishy about all this. That's Amanda Hughes. Yeah, you're right, there's something fishy. Because don't forget all the different rights, all the different talking points that can get out of this now. Gun laws, yeah. Further curtailment for people who are talking about Brexit, who are talking about the global migration plan. You know, all these different key things that he put in this manifesto, now they're dirty. Now you can't even go near it because he's gone near it. He's muddied it. He's contaminated. So as soon as you drink that water, you're contaminated with it. You know what I mean? As soon as you mention that this is on your mind to a normal affluent person, a middle class person who's not politically affiliated, all they have to do to make that connection, oh, didn't that guy who done that shooting in New Zealand, wasn't he talking about that in his manifesto? And even if what you're talking about is makes sense, logic, and coming from a position of non-hate, don't mean nothing. It means that you're a racist, you're a far right, just like this absolute terrorist, yeah? And you might as well be holding the frigging magazines for him and passing them while he was taking the people out. That's how I see it. So blood. Well, whether you see, I seen blood. I seen blood. I seen it on the walls. I seen it. The worst one for me, I went to a friend's house before I went home, and he'd already previously sent me the clip during the day. I had it sent off 3 different people, and Great Brit was the first one. And so my mate sent it to me, and I already said, mate, well, you know, I ain't seen it yet, but I already got it. Nice one. I went to his house briefly. And he was telling me, mate, you want to look at the woman at the end. And that's all he said, because I said I've only seen a couple of minutes. I was in work. I had to get my work done. So I watched it. And the very end, well, near the end, he's kind of at this point, he's gone in and out of the mosque a couple of times. He's gone to his car a couple of times. He's changed his magazines. He's just dashed the weapons like they don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Would you leave the weapons? I mean, these are all things now I'm thinking. Would you leave a weapon there? He dashed 2 weapons, 2 semi-automatic weapons, one at the front of the mosque and one at the side of his car. And he had shitloads more in the car, but forensically, but this is a man in his manifesto that says, I don't really care. But when it comes to him coming back outside, he come out of the gate and you could see he was looking up the street, and it must have been, from what it looked like, a Muslim lady who must have escaped from the mosque, but she must have escaped from somewhere other than the front entrance, because at this point she was out the building and she must have been walking up the street. He clocked her, and he just, you know, popped her a few times, and then went to the entrance and then walked up. She's lying on the floor. I don't mean to be graphic, and I'm not going to be graphic, but she was lying on the floor. She's crawling. She's about 30 yards in front of me. Honestly, it's so upsetting this. No matter what your feelings about whatever's going on, no matter what you're feeling, you cannot celebrate this shit. And if you do, you're no friend of mine. And I am not going to speak on your behalf no matter what you fucking do. And I ain't going to no march and saying these people are all right while you're going in my comment section saying I don't see anything bad in this. Yeah? Fuckeries. So this woman's crawling and you could hear her shouting, help, help me, help me. The fucker walks up, slugs her with an automatic weapon, part of a headshot fucking. I swear to God, honestly, I've got to calm down here. I've got to calm down. So please, don't be celebrating this. I know everything that's gone on in this country. And I totally know because I've had 2 years of fucking interviewing every man and his dog about it. I've had 2 years to go to marches. So don't tell me I know. And I'm not saying I know it all because I don't know it all. But what I do know is this shit's got to stop. This tit for tat. Because no one's going to win. We're dragging innocent people through it all. And that is the bottom line. I mean, I could actually end this stream now saying 2 wrongs don't make a right. Red pill Phil, like and subscribe. See you fucking later. I could do that because it is that simple. Anyone who wants to make it more complex, you can make it as complex as you want, but it is so simple. 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if I'm going to batter a Muslim down the street, there's every chance that either I'm going to get battered by a gang of Muslims down the street, or some innocent git is going to get it down the street, or raped, or anything. So me personally, I want to profess to people that what I'm doing is absolutely 100% genuine, and I've got consideration for them, no matter what the faith is. And if I've got a grievance about something, if I can articulate it in a nice, decent way, you're going to get my point. Even if I do concede somewhat on that point, but at least I know I'm coming from a position of honesty and integrity and impartiality. Cheers, Daz. Cheers. Let me just calm down here. Jesus. Cheers, Great Brit. Honestly, I've got to sort my freaking head out. I'm going to have blood vessels popping out everywhere. But let me just read through a few. I'm not blaming people. So I'm not kind of saying, all right, this attack Europe. No, you know I'm not. You know I'm not. But at the same time, if you're that mentally redundant, where you're going to look at this and the first comment you're going to say is, I don't see anything bad in this. Really? So then when a Muslim geezer is sat in fucking Saudi Arabia somewhere, yeah, and he's just witnessed some Muslim just beheading fucking Lee Rigby on the street, and then he texts his, I don't see anything bad in that. Are you going to be outraged by that? Because I fucking would be. Cold coffee, and I'm bloody spilling it on myself. Right, calm down. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to smoke a cigarette. Calm down. Why are Muslims in New Zealand? Well, what kind of question is that? I mean, you know why there's fucking Muslims in New Zealand. The same reason why there'll be German people in New Zealand. The same reason. Obviously, through the globe, the irrational migration flow is heightening. Of course it is. But migration is migration. And you know the one thing that none of this comment section has said, right? No one has said it, and no one has said it here yet. The guy who's written the manifesto of such hatred towards anything other than non-white. Now, he can say this from a position, oh, well, if you're in Pakistan, I don't mind. But as soon as a Pakistan guy comes to Australia, you know, that stupid mentality, right? So okay, that's his stance. That's his stance. A kind of uber white nationalist, or particularly very protective of his own grounds on that, yeah? Which I can understand on a certain level, but fuck me, he took it a bit far. But let's understand it on that level alone, okay? The guy's Australian, innit? Okay? Is Australia originally a white man's land? Do you want to talk to the Aborigines about that? Yeah? So, by very nature, what England was doing way back when, throwing criminals all over the frigging place in Australia, right? Come across the Aborigines, spiritual people, land people, fucking annihilated him. Now, I'm not saying the Australians are bad because of this. I'm not going there. because people do migrate. It's going to happen. The world's a big place. Just like I am going to want to seek information that is in America. So that is a migration of information. It's what it is. The world is such a small place. So I'm not just going to stay in places where the demographic is suitable for me, because that is stupid. It's redundant. I love people. But his whole argument is totally blown out the water, because if he's an Australian, he's not indigenous. He is not indigenous to Australia. So what the fuck's he on about? But yet, he's got his high moral ground. He's collected as many freaking weapons as he could, automatic weapons. It's going to demonize people in America and Australia and England. Have a stiff one. I bloody need a stiff one, mate. I tell you, I've got a couple of cans of beer and I thought, no, I'm not going to have him yet, because I want to be as clear as possible. I want to be as concise as possible. Even though I will, emotion gets involved and you start shooting off. But no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it. Hold on, let me. Oh, Jesus. Right, missed that. I know, Trevor, I did. Yeah, it's just wrong. Just wrong, right? So, right, let's skip on a little bit. Oh, sorry, Gail. I know. It happens, doesn't it? I see someone smoke, and then even if I didn't want one, I think, maybe it's a good idea. So I'm sorry. It's not very clever, is it? I'll hold it off camera. Get the paintbrush out. No, mate, I've got a weekend off. This is all part of the plan. Well, yeah, But anyway, let's just put this out. A subber, I think he was called Tim Wells, put this link up. And he must have gone to this geezer's Twitter. Or it's going to a Twitter account, Joe Riviera. And it says, I'll read it. What the hell was the Christchurch shooter doing in Pakistan 5 months ago? He seems to like the people in Pakistan, doesn't he? Know that they are Muslim? Something is very fishy here. Was he there collecting intelligence for his employer Mossad? Was the shooter a Mossad false flag op? Now, who knows? Who knows? But then you look at the write-up that's attributed to this guy's photo, which is the photo of the actual frigging wronging, the terrorist. And it's very small writing, but it's put, hello everyone, my name is Brenton Tarrant, and I am visiting Pakistan for the first time. Pakistan is an incredible place, filled with the most earnest, kind, and hospitable people in the world. And the beauty of the Huxa, is it? It's very small writing, so I do apologise. And Najar Valley in autumn cannot be beat. Unfortunately, many tourists are choosing other countries due to the stress, difficulty, and steep requirements, I might have that word wrong, of obtaining a Pakistan visa. Hopefully, in the near future, the Pakistani government and Mr. Imran Khan will make the necessary changes to the visa program so to encourage tourism and make the viable once more the world to come and experience the beauty of Pakistan, right? So he's writing a glowing report. Couldn't be any more glowing about what's going on in Pakistan. Now, but he has says in the manifesto, to be totally fair, he has says in this manifesto that people who live in their own country he ain't got a problem with. Soon as they come and invade his country, So what's his opinion of people who then want to migrate somewhere else and live and work? Ironically, in his manifesto, politically, his views align with the Republic of China. Get your head on that. the most Orwellian frigging regime, apart from North Korea and maybe Venezuela or something. And this guy, so he's a mishmash of all kinds of fucked up shit going on. I'm sorry, I've got to include that swear jar. I'm sorry, I am sorry. The council estate does come out, and I try not let it to, but it does. So, let me scroll on. Right. And then it's got here, the Telegraph. Mossad spy ring unearthed because of Christchurch earthquake. The Israeli Secret Service, Mossad, has been accused of conducting an intelligence gathering operation in New Zealand, which was unearthed because of February's Christchurch earthquake. And then it goes on to that. It's Mossad spy ring unearthed because of Christchurch earthquake. The Israeli, same thing. And then it's going on to, get out of the way. A Mossad spy team may have uncovered by earthquake in New Zealand an Israeli was found with at least 5 passports, and that's the Daily Mail. So there's covert crap going on all over the world, as we know. I mean, it's only highlighted there, so we can, but the intelligence services of many countries are working in many countries. So we don't know about all the little things that they're doing in the background to aggravate, to agitate, to destabilize and whatnot. Whether this has got anything to do with that wronging, I've no idea. But you've got to put it in the mix that he seems to be very, very friendly and very glowing about Pakistan. But yet, over in New Zealand, he decided he wanted to do what he'd done. So, I don't freaking know. I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to work through it myself. I've been looking through, and let me keep moving. Right. Anyone who doesn't know what a false flag is, okay, let me go through that a little bit. A false flag is a covert operation designed to deceive. The deception creates the appearance of a particular party, group, or nation being responsible for some activity, disguising the actual source of responsibility. The term false flag originally referred to pirate ships that flew flags of other countries as a disguise to prevent their victims from fleeing to prepare for battle. Sometimes the flag would remain and blame for the attack be laid incorrectly on another country. The term today extends beyond naval encounters to include countries that organize attacks on themselves and then make attacks appear to be by enemy nations or terrorists, thus giving the nation that was supposedly attacked a pretext for domestic repression and foreign military aggression. So, when you look at it and you read it in them semantical terms, when you look at what has gone on here, when you look at the man's manifesto, when you look at how it's all very nicely neated as if to say, this guy's a racist, this guy's far right, look where it's going now, that the whole world's turning far right, the whole world's turning Nazi, oh, look, that guy over there, that guy Tommy Robinson, oh, that guy over there, let's ban him, let's do this, let's do that. You've got your Muslim councils that will be now going to authorities all over the place and saying, we need action, we demand action. You're going to get everyone disavowing this, and they're going to have to be seen to be going the other way, which in a sense could be seen from this side of the fence to be like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. You know what I mean? So it does seem very strange, but same again. I've got to say it. I would like a platform where I have black people, white people, Muslim people, non-Muslim people, Christian people, Catholic people, where we can all talk about the issues. We can all help each other to get through this, as well as coming up with a plan in order to make people see that you're not about extremism, you're not about hatred, you're not about retaliating. You're not about that. You're not about tit for tat, no matter what has gone on. It is hard. I know when you hear up to 30 years, 40 years, up to 1 million kids may have been groomed. I know it's hard. I can hear that. But then on the flip side, I'm going to say the same thing again. When I hear of, because of a false pretext of the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, when I hear the amount of people that have died over there, does that please me? Does that make me sit here and go, yeah, give it to him, the Muslims? How dare they take down the Twin Towers? You know what I mean? False flags. False flag events. Look what's happened. Yeah? Now, the other thing is, this shouldn't be blown up too much out of proportion. It's horrible, the nature of it. It's horrible what the guy represented whilst he was doing that act. But you've got to put the numbers in check. Unfortunately, it's a statistic, isn't it? You know? There's been many people who died over many atrocities in many countries for many different reasons, whether they be for religious reasons or for whatever reasons, you know. In some ways, there's been thousands. In some ways, there's been hundreds. Some ways, the news never reports it. So that news, for all intents and purposes, never gets spoke about. So that might seem to someone on the inside who's informed, who knows of that story, as unjust, which then can lead to this. You know what I mean? It does seem like a provocation all the time. But the bottom line is, we've got to all be able to sort this out intellectually, haven't we? See, I just see something about you can debate but a Muslim, but you know, but I don't know what the comment was, to be fair, but you know what? You know there's going to be decent Muslims. You know there's going to be decent Muslims, right? I know that. There's beautiful Muslims. I go to the shop, there's beautiful Muslims. I get in a taxi, there's beautiful Muslims. You know? My wife goes to work, she works with beautiful Muslims. So, I can't tie the same brush. I can't just go, no. It's hard, because when you see atrocity after atrocity, after lack of transparency, after cover up, it's so damn easy. It's so damn easy, but you can't, because you sure can't. But the bottom line is, people keep saying it. There's no such thing as a moderate Muslim. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Don't believe that. Everyone is going to be kind of biased towards their own in one way or the other. But a lot of this is tit for tat. So, in the realm that we're in now, you put a Muslim on a platform, you lay the word taqiyya. So, say this Muslim was absolutely genuine. Say this Muslim actually did want to help. Say this Muslim does appreciate where you're coming from and is totally ashamed of it. Are you still going to have in the back of your head, well, because people who take the Quran for its literal interpretation, who say never believe a non-Muslim, then he's attributed to that? You can't do that. That is general sweeping. If he said that, if he said it on a social media, or if he said it to your face, you know where you stand. But if he's saying to you, you know what, I totally disagree and disavow what people who adhere to the same faith as me are doing, then you've got to take that on the chin, haven't you? And then you've got to kind of say, well, listen, mate, you know, you can see what's happening. I don't agree with what's going on in your lands in terms of the wars and this, that, and the other. So we've got a common ground. So why don't we stop this shit? Stop pointing fingers at each other. Stop doing tit for tat, and let's get on with it. and let's actually work towards a conclusion, you know? I remember in the early 90s when I was pretty much hardcore on my DJing. I was DJing in radio stations around Manchester. I used to play parties, wine bars, pubs, you know, nightclubs, illegal shebeen parties, which are blues parties, which are after hours parties, which were illegal because they were in houses. It was fun times, but it was scary times. Now, some of these illegal parties happened in the predominantly black areas. Yeah, you're not going to get them in fucking Sale. So you get them in Moss Side, you get them in Longside. I'd be doing them week after week. We'd have a crew of us, we'd have all our boxes, we'd have a big sack, like a 12, 15k sound system set up in a house. We'd nearly take the frigging house down with the amount of low frequency that we put through that place, let me tell you. You know? Lights out. It was a top atmosphere. But around that time was around the same time that the Gunchester narrative come out. Okay? It's when gang stuff started getting really crazy in Manchester. Yeah? I was a DJ, I'll never forget it. You had DJs getting their set taxed. Now, if you don't know what that terms means, getting the set means getting their equipment. Tax means getting robbed. So you get geezers balaclavaed up, coming into the shebeen, the blues, because it's lawless. You know what I mean? It's an illegal party, so you can't call the police. And it's in a no-go zone anyway, which Moss Side, Gooch Close, I've played on Gooch Close, was a no-go zone, so you just don't, you know what I mean? You're isolated. They come and take your gear. Luckily, it didn't happen to me, but then the blues kind of just went fizzled out because no one wanted to be on the scene. You know what I mean? People were scared. I was playing at clubs where there was white people and black people, but there was a sense of, oh, even white people started feeling threatened in clubs. You know what I mean? So then the press started getting onto it, and they started calling it Gunchester. Now, at that same time, you had the Hacienda, you had Salford, you had Cheetah Mill, you had Gooch, you had Donington, and probably more crews, but they were the major crews. They were all fighting for turf wars within town over drugs. Hacienda played a big part because everyone wanted a piece of the Hacienda. So you can imagine. So from day to day, week to week, you get a Dodderton shooting a Gooch. Then the next week they're going, sack that. The Gooch would shoot the Dodderton. Next week, sack that. Salford would end up going in to get someone from Gooch. Then Gooch would go and get someone from Salford. Then Salford's going up and getting someone from Dodderton. Then Dodderton, and it's the fucking same cycle going all the way around. And that's what was going on for the past like 5-6 years in the mid-90s. And it's like, what? And then the title Gunchester come up. No, it's not surprising. Gunchester. But what I'm trying to say is, it's the same tit for tat mentality. It got black people in Manchester absolutely nowhere but a bad reputation. You know what I mean? I used to go out of Manchester playing gigs. Because I'm from Manchester, they were assuming that you're packing. I'm like, what? Talk about build my freaking straw, man. You know what I mean? Now, that goes with the fact that because of my skin tone, because of the skin tone that the people I was with, because of the music I was playing, the whole connotation, which then goes in line with what's going on here now. The old connotation with what he's doing. So you're now representative, so that's tit for tat. So if you agree with this, then a Muslim will maybe go and do something to an innocent kid, an innocent man, an innocent woman somewhere. That's going to rattle your boat, so you can see it. It's the same cycle that's kind of just regurgitating, recycling. And it pisses me off. I can see it. I can see it. Gunslinger Phil. Mate, I was on my decks. Mate, let me tell you, right? I played at a Gooch party once. And it was a party run by the two main heads of the Gooch gang, okay? I was in my early 20s. They threatened to kidnap me. And I'm not fucking about. I played several gigs for them, right? The first gig, the guy who took me to the gig, he had the set, he had the equipment, he had the records. He said to me, right, come on, Phil. You're sat in here doing nothing. You're not playing on the radio tonight. Do you want to play this party? I said, all right, because I had a bit of liquor, whatever. Right, no problem. Come and play it. He parks his car up. We get the gear out. We settle up. We hear a gunshot. Right? We go out to his car. His car back windscreen's potted. Right? There's a fucking bullet in his back seat. Couldn't see a gun shooter. Didn't know. Oh, God. Right? We go back in. No shit. We go back in. I'm playing behind the decks. It had not started yet. Shabeens notoriously didn't start till after hours in a club. So you're talking 2, 3 o'clock, right? The guys are walking round with Uzis. Literally. With the strap round the shoulder, with an Uzi in the hand, just walking into the kitchen, in and out the kitchen. Now, you'd think that I'd be bricking it at that point. I did not feel any threat. I didn't, because I had no reason to feel threat. I was DJing at the party. You know what I mean? The only time I felt threat is after several weeks of me doing that party, when I felt that it had turned from me having total expression on what I was playing to them trying to dictate record for record what I played. So when I rung them up after the last gig, and I said, mate, you've paid me up for the gigs I've played, so we're kind of square. So I'm not going to do it anymore. The rant he gave me over the phone, I'm going to effing kidnap you, and these are the two main geezers in Gooch. I could say the names, but I'm not. No need to. If it wasn't for a very influential person who was a DJ at the time, who really squared it for me, because I didn't want nothing to do with that. I wasn't getting in between all that at all. And it was squared. I never heard nothing of it. You know, I had to kind of look round every time I went in the club every now and then, but that's how precarious it is. So it's the same thing. You know, I don't know where I'm going. I can just see that this is all messed up. I can see that this guy's not helped any of us at all. Any of us. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. Gandhi said an eye for an eye. I'll be blind. It's true though, isn't it? It is true. Where do you stop with that mentality? Oh, I missed that. You asked me a question there and I missed it. But this does get political and it does get very complex. I mean, because this guy's talking about like Kosovan wars and NATO's influence in America. So that's going back to the 80s and everything. It's getting very, very murky. And there's relevant points. We know that there was fuckeries going on back there. But at the same time, it doesn't mean to say that 20, 30 years later, you take out 50 innocent people who some might not have even been born then, or even if they did, chances are they're that politically out of the game that they didn't even know what you're on about, but you just decided to extinguish them. So what does that make you as a human being, as an individual? Sick. And anyone who agrees with it, I'm sorry, but there's something not right. You need to check yourself. You do. Best gig, Phil? What, for me? The best gig was the Hacienda. I played the Hacienda in about 92, 93. It was the radio station I was playing for was Soul Nation, and the event was the Soul Nation launch party, or was it the first year birthday, anniversary, whatever you want to call it. There's about 1,500 people there. It was the Hacienda, and the atmosphere was electric. And mate, I rocked it. That's all I'm going to say. I killed it. Any Northern? As in what? Northern Soul? Northern Soul? Nah, that's a bit before my time. Oh, love you, Mike. Mike Jones. Love it, mate. Cheers. Yeah. Christian, yeah, persecution, yeah, you got it in South Africa, you've got, but same again. Look what's happened for eons. We've all been doing it to each other for eons. So this ain't a new phenomenon. So there's no point in getting outraged over the last 20 years. As horrifying as it is, as stark as it is, as the lack of transparency that we've got and the deceitful nature of the media that it is, we know it's been going on for years. We know that. You know, the Mesoamericans. Why do you think they're speaking Spanish? Because the Spanish went over there holding crosses and slaughtered the fucking lot of them and made them speak Spanish. So, come on. We've got to have it right. Why are the Brazilians speak Portuguese? You know what I'm saying? It's common sense. We've all, the Celts, we've all intermingled, we've all moved. So let's not get too indoctrinated on one ideal. It's just the way it is. People are people. People do move about. I mean, you've got black apartheid. Remember apartheid? Now you've got the white genocide. So it's almost like a flip. Now, I'm not saying it's right. The genocide, the apartheid back in the day when I was growing up was horrible. Didn't make me feel great as an individual growing up. But now when I think, well, hopefully things have sorted itself out. No, now it's flipped the other way. Now, you know, some black people have got it into the head that white people are to blame for everything, so they need to be annihilated. And the same on both sides. What's this geezer doing? You know what I mean? So at that point, there's no bias. It's just right and wrong. It's as simple as that. Where is the media on the rockets in Israel? Say what, going over to Pal? I didn't read the comment. I'm sorry, did the bloody scrolling up too quick for me. 40 Nigerian Christians slaughtered by Islamicists. See, that ain't fun. That ain't fun. That should be reported. It should be reported just like this is. So I can get why this is out there to kind of, oh, look, far-right extremism. When in reality, you look at half a dozen other stories that probably should propel in front of this. But at the same time, on a fundamental level, the Christian story is just horrific. It's horrifying to think that anyone would take anyone out because he's a Christian. It's horrifying to think that anyone would take anyone out because he supports Islam or Islam is his faith. It is ridiculous. It is redundant. We're in the 21st century. We are never, ever going to reach the next level of consciousness thinking like this. We're going to annihilate ourselves because it's going to get tit for tat. The weapons are going to get bigger here, bigger here, bigger here, bigger here. Before you know it, it's going to end up with a series of 2 buttons called nuke buttons. And then it's a question of who's going to nuke each other first. So it's like one big pissing contest, this, and it's stupid because we're in the middle. The people in this are in the middle. The people on this stream now that are agreeing with me and saying, this ain't right, but at the same time, what's happening in the country ain't right. We're in the middle because we want to represent both camps, but you can't. Because as soon as you go to a march, as soon as you talk about Brexit, this dickhead's name's going to pop up for the next 10 years, innit? Just like the dickhead in Norway on, you know, wherever, when he done that campsite. Just like the dickhead who done that politician. So it's straw building events. Now, whether it was a false flag that was a straw building event or whether it was organic that was a straw building event, the world was invaded by England. Colonization. We've all done it. So I'm not even going to blame England. We've all done it. What the video on old school days, Phil? Whoa! Who's just put my DJ name up there? Who knew my DJ name? Tried to keep that down. Owen Jones don't help. Owen Jones don't help because he gets right in the middle of it, try to stoke the fire, try to appease. You can't appease, you've got to own it. Now, the reality is, I hate extremism on both sides. So boom. Say that to Owen Jones and there's fuck all he can say to you. By the way, hello Lisa. But there's nothing he can say to you because I oppose it on both sides. I don't like it. But at the same time, that totally scrape that aside. You've still got grooming gangs. You've still got sexual historic abuse happening to all people. You've still got people of a Muslim faith. You've still got people of a Catholic faith. You've still got people who are Christians that have been abused, that are now got a quiet voice, that can't talk because there's no platform. There's no council that's prepared to give him any kind of accountability. And there's probably no care system that's really going to highlight it. The police ain't going to really give a shit because, oh, they're on a quota system. They'd rather get you for saying a bad name. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what do? You've got a press that ain't going to talk about it. So I can get it. But you still got to be. Still don't mean you see a group of Muslims, you go, it's them bastards. It's all their fault. You can't do that, can you? And I ain't going to have it. Yeah, Tony Blair. You know what? Tony Blair should have got this. Oh, geez, me hour's up. Right, me hour's up, guys. Do you want me to call it a day or do you want me to carry on? But Tony Blair, he should have got the same treatment as Saddam Hussein. He should have been next in line. He should have been behind him. You know what I mean? The other angle as well, talking about a distraction. Like I say, this distracts from Brexit, distracts from every bit of news, really, anything. Now, it's very uncanny that I was speaking to Tom Parsons the other day, and we had a really, really good chat, right? He's a conscious guy. No matter what you think about him, he's a conscious guy, very intelligent guy. Now, he was telling me about whether people know it about the Q stuff, and he's saying to me, Phil, look out in the next this was yesterday, look out in the next 5 or 6 days what's going to go on in terms of the press coverage. He said, Trump's doing this, Trump's doing that. There's kind of military tribunals here, Gitmo here, military warships there. And I'm like, shit. I've had a friend of mine who got on to me, and he sent me a video a couple of weeks ago of a independent news outlet that were talking about this. And they were saying that only very small independent news sources are kind of getting this leaked information. But I wanted to actually do a video of it, but at that point it was hearsay. You know what I mean? I've not really gone onto the net and started looking into it. I've not. So I left it alone because I'm thinking I need some verification, because we're talking about the sex trafficking, we're talking about Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, the Mueller, everything. The Russia bloody scandal, everything is all, it's all a lie. And Tom was saying to me, right, okay, the next 5, 6 days. So I'm thinking, right, the news ain't going to cover it. I can't see it. But if something happens at such a dramatic effect, maybe he's going to have no choice. Or they've got no choice to show it. So fine. Today comes, this event happens. So it makes me then go back to 9/11. Now, remember the day before 9/11? Remember what happened there? Yeah? Donald Rumsfeld. Remember the how many trillion had gone missing? Remember that? And then all of a sudden, the next day, you had 9/11. All of a sudden, no one gives a shit about the missing trillions. No one gives a shit about that. Everyone's now talking about this. And then the world has been a different place because of that. What could have been a false flag event? Regardless of it, the war on terror was a false flag event. Regardless of it. So, Q is, you know what? Time will tell. People slate Q, people rate Q. Time will tell. Time will tell, won't it? Time will tell whether Trump is on it. Time will tell whether Hillary Clinton and all the cronies, the podestas, all of them get it. Pizzagate, whatever gate. You know what I mean? Nasty gate, wrong gate, call it whatever you want. You know what I mean? Being malicious against the population of the world gate. How about that? You know what I mean? It's time will tell. It should happen. People are gagging for it. People are ready for it. Whether it does. Because in order to do that, you've got to overturn the very thing that's keeping it all quiet. And that's the job, isn't it? That is the job. Blame Merkel. Well, Merkel's played a part in it, hasn't she? Let's face it. Well, Joel, you know what? That's the fear, mate. That is the fear. Garden Gate. That is the fear. That you don't want that to happen. But there's going to be a revenge attack to this, isn't there? Do you not think? Now, it might not be in New Zealand, might not be in Europe, could be anywhere in the Middle East. It might be just some innocent geezer just walking around Turkey on his holidays all of a sudden. Boom, you're getting it. You know, who knows where it can manifest. But you guarantee that this event has pissed off a hell of a lot of people, and it's made any argument that you've got in terms of the migration pact of orderly flow, which I've done a video about that, but I've not yet uploaded it because I've not yet completed it. But for me, that is all revolving around the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. I don't even think that's regarding as racism, as in black and white. I think they just want to get everyone into one space and create this mass concrete jungle of everyone. Now, there's some people might think, well, that may lead into the Kalergi plan. Same again, you can get too complex and go too far down the road. You got to keep it simple. But one thing they do mention in that pact over and over again is sustainability. It's the 2030 Agenda 21. So to me, that the orderly migration is allowing the infrastructure to open the door for Middle Eastern countries and African countries to just literally wander through all these different countries whilst having no blockage of any kind, no castigation from the public. That has all got to be curtailed because it says it. Orderly migrational flow. So they just want people to just keep going. They don't want what is going on now. Protest this, protest that. They don't. They want to shut you the hell up. So, same again. It depends how you want to interpret that, but I don't know. I think it's Agenda 21, where they want you all in one big like concrete jungle, and they want swathes of the planet as massive nature reserves where you can't go anywhere near it. You're that way, you're easily controlled, you're easily manipulated, you're easily exploited. Now we're all over the place. They can't control us, can they? Because we're scattered. So they want you off them pockets. They want you all there. And not only that, the fact that you're going to get all different cultures, all different ethnic creeds, it keeps the divide and conquer going. You're going to get fighting. You're going to get flash fucking riots going on because you're mixing all these people who are not integrating, who don't like each other because they've all got their own little biases going. And you're going to get tit for tat. So it's only leading to chaos no matter what. Why can't they migrate to the Gulf states? Well, yeah, you'd think. You'd think. I mean, there was a story not so long back one that during the time when Saudi Arabia was funding mosques and Wahhabism throughout Europe, they had over 2,000 air-conditioned tents in the middle of the desert. So they could have started the but they didn't want to. Other Middle Eastern countries didn't want to, but they don't mind the migrational flow coming right through. But at the same time, the people who are coming through, that does not mean every one of them is a radical. You know what I mean? There's going to be genuine people that are genuinely decent Muslims. So we've got to keep that in check. Just like there are genuinely decent black people, just like there are genuinely decent white people. And I have to keep saying that. And I know you don't want to hear it. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely changing in front of our eyes. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's in terms of it's the governments that's the problem. It's the governments that's the problem. I mean, let's look at all the figures. I haven't collated the figures, but if you look at the right wing, far right extremism, the numbers, yeah, pretty small, I guess. You know, terrorism, Middle Eastern terrorism, pretty hardcore in it, quite a lot over the years. The number that exceeds a lot of that, the lot of it, probably add them both together, is human democide. Human democide. Now, if you don't know what human democide is, tap that in right now, because that number, you'll forget about the 50 here. You'll forget about the 22 people in Manchester, I'm sorry to say, because it totally supersedes all that. You forget the 1 million people in Iraq. Because you know the number they're talking about? Because there was a university in Hawaii that studied it. Nearly 500 to 600 million people have died through human democide. Human democide equals death by government. That's your problem. That's your problem. All this shit is symptoms, not the disease. The disease is the establishment that's allowing this, that's curtailing it, that could be even agitating it. Who's to say this guy wasn't an asset? Who's to say that this guy was a genuine racist, but was not an asset? He may not have known it either. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there because I can't stay on the one position because there's too much information that kind of contradicts, and it's got to make you at least consider that. And if you don't, then you're just fulfilling your own conformity bias. And like I said at the beginning, I could be on this stream for 2 minutes, fulfill my conformity bias, but can't do that. They are killed. What? Sleeper cells? Yeah, well, you get sleeper cells on both sides. Islam is not a symptom, it's a cause. Islam is not a symptom, it's a cause. Really? Really? How do you get that one? How do you get that one? So all the deaths that have gone on over the past 100 years, and I've just explained to you human democide, which is nearly 500 million people. I've just explained to you about 9/11, which is taken out. Now, is that Islam per se? You know what I mean? That's the mentality I'm talking about. If you take away from all this, Islam's the root cause, so you know what, if 50 have been taken out, then fuck them, then you ain't solving nothing. All you're going to be waiting for is a Muslim to come and attack another Western city and take out 30 people in retaliation for that. And then, because you've got that attitude, what are you going to turn around and say? Islam's a disease. But didn't this dickhead start it? So where do you stop? That's what I'm saying. Low consciousness. Low consciousness. And I'm at the point now where I'm kind of done getting in between all this. That's why I've moved away from the movement. That's why I've moved away from marches, because I'm having to deal with people like this who've got such a low frequency. I agree with what you're talking about. It's fucked up. But it's not as balanced as you would, you've got to be more balanced, haven't you, surely? For God's sake. Yeah, it does make you wonder what you're fighting for. Because you could be fighting for a total lie. You could be ripping the carpet up for a total lie. So you've got to be true to yourself all the time, surely? Just as I know, if I go out and smack a geezer on the street now, if he knows who I am, he knows where I live, he could either break my windows, he could either smack me next time I'm innocently walking around the street, or worse still, he could grab me kids. Cause and effect. So for all his manifesto, he's just created a cause and effect. Now he's doing it fully knowing, and get on this, within his manifesto, he doesn't really care whether he dies or not, but he's expecting not to die because he's going to be placid and give himself up, no doubt. The geezer is expecting to go to court and he's going to plead not guilty. He's going to plead not guilty to taking out 50 Muslims on the basis of the fact that they are invading our lands. Bearing in mind he's an Australian that wiped out most of the Aborigines in order to fucking take them lands. I'm sorry. You've got to be heathen. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say it as if to say anyone. I'm not. I'm being in the middle. And it's hard to be in the middle and I'll get shit for it. The dude was hypnotized. Maybe. I don't know. But you've got to lose that Islam is the problem bullshit. Because Islam is not the problem. It is not. Because if you're going to say that, Catholicism's the problem. Innit? Look at what all the priests were doing. Dirty bastards. Look at all the nuns that were beating the shit out of the kids when I was going to school and all my mates would go to Catholic schools and they were hard as nails, kicking the crap out of him, levering him. Yeah? All the ritual abuse that went around it. And then people who were so virulently Catholicized, they were adhering to it, so they were then beating their fucking kids up. But I'm not blaming Catholics because, you know, I lived in a family where there was a little bit of abuse going on there. That was one through Catholicism, one through Christianity. It's just through people getting angry. So what I'm saying is, who's the good guy? So you're saying the only bad guy is Islam? I'm sorry, I'm not having that either. Of course it is. Most religion is child abuse. And most religion is control. So it's abuse per se. And whoever follows it. Personally. It's a nice belief system. And if you want to take the good edicts from it and live a nice positive life, fair play to you. Whether that be Catholicism, Christianity, whatever, Islam. But you can see the furthest extents on all of it. And where it can take you. Black Sue Shabba. No, I'm not even going there. No, thank you, Great Brit. What a dick. See, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I personally feel I'm wasting my time. I personally feel that this argument's never going to go anywhere because people on both sides of the fence can't cool the shit down. And they're creating this little tit for tat. I hate you, you hate me. Oh, he's done that. Well, I'm going to do this. Well, he's done that. I'm going to do that. And you're never going to get anywhere. And you've got innocent people in the fucking middle who's going, all I want to do is talk about what's wrong. Nazi! You know what I mean? Hate religion, hate control systems. Yeah, you're right, Lou. No, I'm not going to give up, Lisa. I'm not. But all I'm saying is it does make you contemplate that. It does make you feel that you're in the middle of a lake in a dinghy that's been popped from the moment that you fucking got on it. So you're bailing out. You're constantly bailing. But the bucket in which that you're using to bail out cannot carry enough water to get the water out faster than the water is coming in. And that's how it's like, what? So I do feel I'm doing that, but I'm actually doing that. And I'm just going down and down, and I'll be like, in a minute. Yeah, everyone is entitled to an opinion, but, mate, you've got to be careful with your opinions, aren't you? Because, let's face it again, straw men, let's get back to that. So if you go on and start saying comments like, I don't see anything bad in it. Right, okay. So a Muslim watches that and thinks, you bastard. You don't see anything bad in that? Right. So the next time someone gets driven over in Manchester, 10 innocent kids with this vest all going to the fucking proms or whatever, or, whatever, just out and about, when they get taken out, I don't give a shit about them. That's how it will work. So it doesn't matter. We've all got an opinion, but common decency. If I smack you, you're going to want to smack me. So what do? Do we both smack each other, or do we both agree a pact that, you know what, we're probably better being friendly, aren't we? You know what I mean? Oh, missed it. Cheers, Stanley, mate. Good night. I'm going to get going shortly anyway. This lad wanted a Christian, yeah, so what do you make out of that? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's definitely chaos driven, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to end it on this. We're all soaking up massive amounts of chaos that is, for me, lowering everyone's vibration. Now, in order to reach the next level of consciousness requires a high vibration. Without that, you will not transcend. I firmly believe that. Now, with what is going on, I can understand why people are reacting in a low frequency manner because of the chaos theory. But yet, that is in your demographic, that is in your geographical area. Yeah? Let's take the same problems or even different problems geographically around the globe. We know everyone's getting it all around the globe for whatever reason. So we know there's mass chaos on a mass level. People can't understand it. People are kind of retaliating here and there, which is only creating more and more animosity towards one another, which is lowering the frequency, which is stopping that level of ascendancy. Now, in order to fight this battle, we have got to truly ascend to the next level where we can stand together no matter what the demographic and see through this shit and work together no matter what. I love Muslims, I love black people, I love white people, I love Chinese people, I love all people. I hate the wrongs in life. I hate radicalized people on whatever side of the fence they are. I hate bad-minded people. I hate jealous people. I don't hate, but jealous people. You know, it goes on and on and on. Everything is the negative connotation. Everything is on a low frequency. I want to be on a higher frequency. I want to talk to you, even if you hate me, even if you call me an Uncle Tom, even if you call me Blue Pill Phil, even if you go and tell me to sniff fluoride, which I've had before. I love you. I want to transcend through that level of hatred that you are projecting to me so we can get to the fucking point. Because you know what? If you're projecting that low frequency to me, what am I going to project to you? Am I going to try and project a higher frequency, or are you inviting me to inject a low frequency back at you? So then when I inject that low frequency back at you, what are you going to put back to me? Can you see the point I'm getting at? So this is where it's stupid. God, oil, gold, and drugs. Yeah, greed, control. It is true, isn't it? So anyway, guys, I'm going to kind of wrap it up, but I will be going to the Brexit betrayal on the 29th of March. So God knows what's going to happen. I am so looking forward to it because I want to be out and I want hoaxes, Phil. Yeah, it could be, but it's a hoax that's going to get people in the game, innit? You know what I mean? So it's not that I'm even buying into this. I'm not, because I can see it on all angles. I'm not buying into any of it. You know, New World Order, yeah, of course. But yeah, that's my next one. I'm going to go to London the 29th of March and hopefully get to see Pag maybe before then as well. So I've got a few bits and pieces. Oh, nice one, Lisa. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope it's been useful for you. I hope it's been fair and accurate. I'm not demonizing anyone. I'm demonizing the wrong. That's all I'm doing. So whatever's going on in the world, guys, remember you are an infinite human being. What you are capable of can far outweigh and transcend all this negativity if you only allow it to. You know what I mean? I can understand why you don't want it to. I can understand why we're all angry, why we're all chaotic. But it's a frequency. You have got to emit a higher frequency that these guys will allow you to emit. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So, Pay a loss. He's right. Very cryptic. Oh, don't go to where do catch and release aggressive. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, guys, listen, I've loved your company and I hope you've enjoyed the stream. And I hope we all can kind of realize that we're all in the same boat, aren't we? We're all in the same boat. High frequency. Go on, Simon. I'm feeling the vibration, mate. I'm feeling it. That's why I always say, or I don't say it anymore, but I used to always say, I hope you resonate because it's a frequency. You know what I mean? If I come to someone with the ultimate high resonance and I greet them with the most positive energy possible, there's two things he can do. He can give me that positive energy back or the negative energy. Either way, I'm in control because I can then converse on the high energy or see the low energy and go, nah, you're all right. See you later. Yeah? That makes me a higher being in terms of that. Not to say I'm arrogant, not to say I'm better. No, I'm just activating on a higher frequency. Probably the frequency that that person doesn't even realize he's got within him. A conscious level again. So anyway, I'm going on again. Good night, guys. I love you all, even the pissing haters. God bless. Take care of yourselves and stay safe.